Hello, everyone, and welcome to Amusing Panda, your musing and amusing thing, amusing thing for all things War Machine. Musing and amusing source for all things War Machine. Man, it has been an adventure getting back and getting resituated for the show. But I am super pleased to get to introduce you guys to the Tucson crew that I have been alluding to for the longest time. So I got my friends Josh and David, who were my con crew, my con posse at Warfare Weekend / Lock and Load this past weekend. Yeah, so welcome, guys. Why don't you tell everybody who you are? We'll start with Josh, and then we'll kick over to David.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh. I've been playing a long time, about 20 years. I go by JT Gardner Paints on everything because I'm a full-time commission painter, but lots of War Machine as well. So
Yeah,
hello.
it's rare as an aside for me to meet somebody who's been playing this game almost as long as me, and
Yeah,
like
a year
we
on me.
started within months of each other.
Yeah, I'm an old blood.
Yeah, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have our new guy who's diving in. David, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm David. I started this year in around March, I think. And
Mhm.
so just getting into it, but really enjoy the game.
That's awesome. Yeah, and for the audience, like again, these two were like my lifeline for sanity and like hanging out and keeping me
Smoke Break
connected to,
Company.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, smoke break company Tucson.
Tucson.
It's the unspellable city until you see it spelled, and then it's the unpronounceable city.
Tucson.
Tucson, Arizona.
I just
Yeah,
shortened it to Dirty.
why don't you guys tell me about your experience of the Tucson metagame? Because for me, as a Phoenician coming down to visit, it's I think a bit of a poster child for what a lot of metagames look like around the country.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Is we have a bunch of old grognards, affectionate, like myself, like our TO Shrets, who've been playing this game forever. We're pretty knowledgeable about it, even if that doesn't, translate on the tabletop. We know a lot about the game and have been playing a long time. And then a bunch of brand new people, like David here, who just got into the game, who were super excited by all the excitement that all the old people were showing. And they're like, hey, I'll check out this cool game. So it's that really nice mix.
Yeah. David, actually, I don't think I ever asked you, how did you get dragged into this game?
Josh, several tries over the years, but this year was finally the one that got me in.
Mm-hmm.
I just played it in front of him and sort of was generally excited about the new edition. And that's
you just over there with your minis like, yoo-hoo, Sailor Boy.
I was the last model from the press gang unit from the old privateers. Got the bat behind my back and the come here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the lass.
Yeah.
The sub officer of that unit back in Mark 1.
Yeah, before that sort of thing was common.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into Warfare Weekend / Lock and Load. And boy, this is going to be the most news and announcements heavy episode ever, because holy crap, there's so much to talk about. So the main big deal, which I'm sure everyone has had a chance to glance at, but if not, we'll recap here, was the Lock and Load keynote, which in terms of gravity and impact and sheer volume of spoilers made Adepticon look like nothing.
Oh man, for sure. Tons of cool stuff.
Yeah. So, first up, early coverage, new licensing deals with Broken Egg Games, King of Dice. What's a cosplay company they're working with now?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
This is a strong indicator that none of us get dressed up in pressed stormtrooper armor.
I'm not the one to look at. Galactic Armory, Google says. Apparently they're bigger in other cosplay communities, but War Machine's included, I guess. I mean, might get a cool wall-mounted helmet or something, or a weapon. That'd be fun.
Yeah, get a giant club or a Lola or something.
Oh, Lola.
A
Yeah,
Lola.
I'd buy a Lola. I'm a sucker for butcher stuff.
Mm-hmm. I love one of the keynote things was Riot Quest is non-canon, but the fate of Ursus Zoctavir kind of indicates that certain aspects of it are canonical.
Parallel universe or something. I don't know. Similar,
Yeah.
but not exactly right.
Man, explaining to people when, like, in late Mark III, after the release of Riot Quest and after the release of Warcaster, we're like, well, there's kind of 4 timelines for this setting.
Yeah.
Still waiting for Karchev return.
Me
Oh
too,
yeah,
Jabarian.
this is Jay Beatnik is Jeff. His wife is one of the top cosplayers in the community. If y'all remember way back when the Almonad Raza gender swap cosplay.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I saw it in No Quarter back in the day.
Yeah, that was a killer cosplay. But
sure.
yeah, explaining the War Machine timeline to people at the time is like, well, there are kind of 4 of them right now. There's War Machine, Apocalypse is ongoing, Riot Quest, Apocalypse was worse than advertised, Iron Kingdom's Requiem, Apocalypse was less bad than advertised, and Warcaster, Apocalypse, what Apocalypse?
Yeah, we don't know nothing about that. We went through the portal.
It would be interesting someday maybe to see a return of Warcaster. I've always said that game launched needing a second edition.
We got it. It's called War Machine Mark IV.
Yeah, it had some faults in its rules, which like War Machine Mark IV grabbed a lot of the good stuff. For example, the basic function for how unit movement works and stuff like that. But the inexcusable sin of that game is every round of like competitive Warcaster went for 3 hours.
Man, I only played a few games of it, and I liked it, but it never captured me because I'm not a sci-fi guy. But I really liked the unit movement, and that stuck with me. I was super excited to see it come to War Machine.
Customizable Warjack loadouts too. That was a big deal. Okay, so moving on from the licensing stuff. Well, actually, is there anything from that particularly gripped you guys?
Of the new stuff, not as much. We've already seen Baron of Dice and Broken Egg do stuff with them. The War Mag trays are still coming. Supposedly, are they already out? I'm not sure. They had some for prizes in Iron Arena, but none for sale at the event, so I assume not. So War Mag looks kind of interesting, but other than that, it's kind of like more of the same. High quality stuff. Broken Egg and Baron of Dice have produced some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything for you, David?
Nothing especially new stood out as far as what I was interested in.
Well, what about the Press Ganger program coming back?
I'm super excited about that. I'm a former PG, and I've been doing the work ever since the program ended, just trying to get people into the game. So to see that like new Press Gang will be rewarded for their hard work, is really heartening in terms of seeing what SFG's goals are for the community level events.
Did you guys see? Did you guys see Jamie posted on the Facebook page a while ago the recommended intro game? Grab a Colossal, Mastodon, or Maelstrom is ideal, and set them down with a command starter and say, "Okay, fight this partially wounded Colossal."
That's how our guy does it here, Shrets.
Does this remind you of Shrets? Yeah.
Yeah, Shrets had commissioned me for a Mastodon with a damaged right arm just for this. It's been pretty successful. People seem to really like the idea.
Yeah, that's super exciting because like if you are an old head, you will probably remember somebody like grabbing people nonstop putting on demo games, putting on, learn to plays, lending an army, running tournaments, etc. It's one of the biggest factors responsible for the growth of War Machine is the big support for grassroots community organizers. So I'm super excited for that coming back.
Yeah, it was always very effective. I think it'll still be effective now.
Yeah.
You just need like one or two enthusiastic people in a community to like double or triple it in a month or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last big last news item from the keynote before we start getting into the really meaty stuff is the creation of an explicitly casual play packet, which will include whole rafts of new scenarios, alternate rules for deployment, scouting functions on some units to modify deployment or modify, even what scenario you're playing. War Machine has enjoyed a reputation as being a somewhat wretched game to play casually. I think this is sort of a follow-on effect of a lot of the core rules being very tightly geared toward like fine-grained, detailed play. And this means, often when you show up for a game night or something, you're playing competitive scenarios because they're sort of introducing a necessary element of balance into the engagement pattern. Like years ago, I went to a game store in Castro Valley, California, where they hadn't really had like the tournament experience hit them yet, and everybody played without scenario. And there was like their local metagame, like King was a guy who was running I think Doom Shaper 1 or 2 and would just park his army in a corner and wait for you to attack him.
That's why Steamroller was invented, right? Or the kill box specifically in Steamroller was to prevent that sort of thing. That was my Mark 1 experience almost entirely, is just people just bonking each other's casters on the head. Mm-hmm. But I mean, David here has a unique perspective coming into the game newly when we put him right into the steamroller life. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, was there ever a moment of play for fun, or like, all right, new guy, you're playing for realsies. You're in this hard ass game, and we're gonna cut your teeth as fast as we can.
Game 1 was, I think, 50 points against Josh. So no. Played scenario, and I died.
I wanted to show him what real games of War Machine looked like, because obviously this is his first time in it, and he and I both come from Magic the Gathering and from a pretty competitive angle at that. So this game sort of latches on to people like that a little easier than maybe like other games, Populaces. So I knew David would be a great choice for one of our locals. But I'm interested to see what you think, David, about the casual play pack, because I know I'm excited.
I'm excited to see it, but I don't know if it'll be something that'll interest me.
See, he's infected. He's got the bug.
Yeah.
I'm personally super excited. I've always wanted to do the campaign thing with War Machine, but I came into the game in a Mark 1 right after, escalation and stuff, and all my friends stopped doing that. So they were all moving on. So I never got a chance to play escalation. So maybe if this gets us closer to some sort of campaign play, I'll be much happier.
Yeah. I gave away all my old Mark 1 books, and I am like, when I moved from California to Phoenix, and I do have some regrets. Like,
yeah.
I wish I had that, because Escalation was the book that that had the narrative campaign.
Yeah.
Where you were fighting through the initial invasion of Lael. Those scenarios were not balanced by any stretch of the imagination. And actually, I think this is going to be a motif as we move forward. Is even like the Oblivion campaign and stuff like that, like they weren't unbalanced in a particularly notable way, but they weren't balanced either, if you catch my drift.
Sure, yeah.
And if you were at the show and you were talking to One of the great things about the show is like not only was Steamforged there, they weren't just operating a store or doing a keynote, they were actively involved with the community throughout. You'd catch them moving through tables, playing games, stuff like that. And if you ever cornered Matt Hart, one of the things he expressed a great amount of interest in was sort of the median player of War Machine. The guy who's in this game because it's bitchin', because it's fun to play, because it feels good to play, and was really committed to giving them an experience that, even if not competitive, gave you a way to experiment around and play around. And watching a company that's really this interested in the experience their players, like, I have a great amount of faith in it. Like this whole con was just like a massive demonstration of faith and investment.
I fully agree with you there. It was really heartening to see them engage with the community at our level. Like they're clearly fans of War Machine that want to make a great game, and I think that's gonna result in more of a surge of comeback that they've already had this year.
Yeah. David, do you think you're going to get tempted into some campaign play in the near future?
I'd definitely be willing to try it if we had somebody set it up.
Like somebody, I wonder.
Gosh, yeah, that wouldn't be me, but
yeah, we have Shrets for that. We're gonna make him do it.
Just crack the whip on your local TO. I love it.
I just have to show him that it exists. He'll get all into it himself. He's a really great TO. He's just like the Steamforged people. He just really loves the game and the community aspect of it.
Steamforged does indeed have a world champion on staff. Competitive is in good hands. Really sucks that the game to shore up. They just need someone that really sucks at the game to shore up the casual stuff. Look out for the LinkedIn post. Yeah. Have you heard of War Machine? Are you bad at it?
I'm in. I'm hired. Great. Well, I'll be getting right over to that.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, let's get into Dragorium. That's me. Well, there may be employment opportunities waiting for you.
Hey, I got dibs.
You pulling that union seniority.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, let's dive into, the shape of the game as we know it. There's the announcements that are perhaps going to be the most impactful for the shape of the game going forward. Number one, the spell rack is going away.
Please clap.
Wait,
praise be to Manoth.
What were your immediate thoughts hearing that?
David, you first.
Definite excitement.
I
think it was a poorly implemented but very interesting idea. So I'm happy to see it going back to more like old school. And even in my short period of time, I've played both Mark IV and older armies. And I like the more unique feeling that casters get when they have no spell rack.
Absolutely. And I was also joyous. I was probably belligerently clapping as soon as they said it. And it was such a relief because for me, it flattens the game experience if half of everyone's spell rack or spells that they can cast are the same. Like, I don't want to play against Windstorm every time I play against Orgoth, for example, or against Old Umbry. And I feel like we'll get the opportunity to see more specialized casters, and maybe that will cause a broader application of different leaders in armies. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. And if they're carving up the racks to be distributed over different casters, it may be like a great balancing mechanic that if you take the auto include spells and actually shove them on somebody who's maybe seeing less play than they deserve, as a way of mechanically, enforcing list diversity. I will say I was on the opposite end of you guys. But but I had some time to think about it and emotionally comport myself to the nature of the change. Part of it is like I'm issuing a local weather report as a Brine Bloods player because Brines lean on their rack so hard.
Oh man, I'll miss Fury Strength.
Yeah, well, yeah, all of us were Brines guys at
All three
the
of us,
event.
yeah.
Yeah.
David has
this
no
could have,
loyalties, but
yeah. This could have been the Brines cast, were it not for the gravity of this announcement.
absolutely, yeah.
But I think on my faction, and like I think I mentioned this last week, 2 weeks ago. I think it was with Cody. If the rack goes away, like this faction ceases to function.
Yeah, it does look that way from the initial outlook. Like it seems so reliant on it.
But that's the remarkable thing, and I think the really important thing about the like, okay, the people who are one step ahead of my emotional state or more steps ahead is there was a strong tendency for the spell rack to homogenize casters. Where most of what you were casting was what you racked, and like anybody who's played war table games with me over the last 3 months has probably become tired of hearing, yes, I am racking the 3 F's of Brine Blood.
That's what I call it too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Fortune, Fury, Strength, Fortify. Like,
yeah,
I would be a fool not to run these things.
Unless I have the poor judgment to run Foul Blood.
Oh, thank God. More Foul Blood haters.
Well,
I had to be convinced, but your stuff convinced me, actually.
This might actually give Foul Blood like a place, though, as a real caster, since he has Fortify and Boomhowler doesn't.
Yeah.
It's an important distinction.
No, yeah. I might make him the better king caster, which is a massive distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it enables the expression of unique casters, whereas previously we had been playing a very homogenized game. And David, you and I talked after you participated in a play event, the contents of which we are not allowed to talk about, but you shared some of your experiences there, and I'm like, oh yeah, they really did go to great pains to make sure the faction functions properly. What was that your experience there?
Yes. I feel like most of the people that were there seemed to feel the same way about their factions. They weren't like leaving anybody behind by removing optional spells. It seems like they tried to pick choices that made sense for each caster and made them still fun and unique.
Yeah. Did they feel thematically aligned too? Like who got what? Did that feel like mechanically and mathematically were sort of the same? Like good.
Yeah, I would say that they were going for thematic choices that made sense as far as like power level 2 for each caster.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, it equilibrating power levels is going to be a big deal. I haven't done a lot of research on this, but my intuition says, the racks just have obvious winner spells, and the casters who rise to the top tend to be the ones that use the winner spells the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I love the casters we see, but I'd like to see some more variety,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and having the opportunity to add fun, thematic, unique spells, it's give old Horace the chop. There may or may not be changes coming to that effect. Also, I was joking with Riker after I lost to him in Pod B, like, just imagine Matt and Rich and Jamie's faces looking over your shoulder as you win one listing Harusk.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, he gets to be the architect of his own destruction, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dan's as excited for the new shape of the game as anyone else because,
Oh, certainly.
being a long-term Orgoth player, like, it's got to feel pretty old.
Yeah, you gotta really love Harusk to play him that much.
Yeah. Oh man, that poor faction. What? And I mean, I feel like Orgoth is the poster child for this sort of nature of the change and what it unlocks.
Yeah, they have one of the strongest spell rack lists in the game, and
or
they
they have the
play one
strongest
caster.
signature spells that they always rack.
Yeah,
Because there's
yeah.
tons of duds on that spell rack.
I'm loading it up now, but there's a lot of hits for sure. But I mean, like any spell rack, you have those ones that are like, I don't know, hyper specific or handled by specific casters that can just rack other spells.
Mhm.
It's just you're never gonna see these cards.
Right.
Let's
And-
see here.
Carnage,
like,
IR, Redline, Silence of Death, Windstorm.
I mean,
And
5
even
spells is the high end.
Yeah,
Even for casters like Sabrith, like, you can palpably sense that both the rack and Sabrith are limited by what she's able to have with the feat she has. You know what I mean?
she's limited by how many upkeeps she can cast on herself.
Right, yeah, and she's sitting on a native one. Yeah, do you guys have any like obvious first order winners and losers on poor gravediggers are going to give up Rockwall? Well, it's not gone forever because almost all of these spells are being reallocated per the announcement.
Yeah.
Veil of Darkness, good.
Yeah. No, I see the changes just broadly winners, but the people who like are gonna be hurt less, like Gravediggers, for example, and then a little bit of Necrofactorium losing access to Ghost Walk without paying, the 20 points for Death Jack, what have you, is going to be a pretty big hit to that sort of giant brick of models that those armies tend to be. So I see that being a big change, but who knows? Maybe they'll compensate more widely for the armies.
I definitely think Dusk is the faction that is going to get the most benefit, not having to rely on Mirage and Bloodlust for every caster.
For Battlelust, yeah.
Battlelust, yeah.
Yeah, they get a lot of freedom by having those windmill slam options removed.
Yeah, and then you get this like cool design equity thing. Not that these armies are necessarily getting a lot of new releases, but like if they did decide to release stuff, they don't have to balance around every single model being able to hold Battlelust.
Mm-hmm.
Other winners. I'm not super familiar with the Chimera spell rack, but I see a lot of Silence of Death. I see a lot of
Silence Death, Dragon's Blood, Execration of Blackest Night. Like, you almost never see Silence of Death not racked.
Yeah. I can't think of a time that our local Chimera grinder hasn't racked it, and Tretz too, because it's just so broadly useful to have +2 damage in the super fast Alpha Strike faction.
Yep, it's a must. So it might be nice for them to not have to play the same spell every game.
Yeah. Well, and they're also a faction that's suffered from damage to caster variety. And part of that is the impact of rack on the metagame and the impact of rack on the metagame on feat and what's playable and so on and so forth. Because you see damage buffs, you see hit fixing, you see range reduction. There's I think they talked about it in the keynote, like, okay, well, the public sees you move one lever, but they don't see all the other levers that move in the machine as a result of that one being moved,
Absolutely.
Yeah. The thing that they announced is spell rack going away. The thing that they didn't announce is all of the changes that go along with that.
Yeah, and on top of other changes we're going to get to, like it feels like almost an entirely new edition of the game. We're getting War Machine 4.5, as some people are saying, and I'm super excited. That's my favorite time to play War Machine, is when shit's brand new.
Yeah. Winter Corps has an opportunity to pop off without the rack. We heavily rely on Avenging Force and Superiority. Now with the rework, we might finally get Boundless Charge. Maybe Copium.
I'm
Maybe
hoping
it
for
is.
You too, buddy. Yeah, and on top of reworks, to other factions, that's also a huge impact too. So like they're reworking a bunch of old factions that they're releasing digitally. We're removing the spell rack, and then of course we'll get to the lethality change. That's just
I
so
didn't
crazy.
even think to include that.
Oh, I thought it was on here already. We can do that next.
The
I guess
lethality
change.
Take us through that. I'm
scarfing
down to mac and cheese. So
do what you got to do, man. I got this. So I guess broadly across the board, we're going to see a lot of changes to the accuracy levels, like Mat and Rat, of a lot of models. I don't know how much damage output will change, but I'm really excited to see that. Well, they said basically they wanted not necessarily every time you go into a fight, if you get the alpha, should you completely wipe out your target, which I think is an interesting goal. Which will slow games down and sort of add to the tension of gameplay, rather than being like in Magic the Gathering terms, 1-for-1ing your opponent until someone sticks something that can't be removed. David, you played the playtest thing, and obviously you can't tell us any details, but I heard you got to see that in action, and how did it feel?
No, that wasn't part of what we played.
No, really? Okay, cool, good. Then we'll all get to experience it together. But yeah, lethality of the game, as they put it, is going down, which I think will be overall very good for the game. I never thought I would be so excited to see like such broad debuffs, nerfs to models in the game. But yeah, I think it'll make for more interesting games, if not necessarily every time you put something in does it kill its target.
Right. Well, and that's sort of been the standard for a long time now. You'll often overkill your target, and you're mostly looking at how much resources do you have to commit to ensure it's done, but it's never a question of it being done.
Right. You can overcommit. It's harder to undercommit intentionally.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see, some adjustments around that too. So like the defensive feats that we see in the game, I really hope we get like Horus and Vargas maybe going to +2 armor instead of +3. That's just my personal wish list.
Or if you're shaving Mat and Rat, like, what's a Zadaroth and Kythos?
Right. Yeah, we want the Kythoses of the world to stay in check, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gets looked at too. I'm pretty confident
want them to stay in the 52% win rate gulag.
Yeah, that's a great place to be. Spooky, but not overly spooky.
There's no way 2 of the best casters in the game are going to get overlooked. So confident that they've got it.
With Jamie Perkins leading things, he kind of knows what's going on with this whole War Machine thing. So I'm pretty confident they'll hit all their bases.
Yeah. Well, let's shift gears into the Kithgard highlight. So there was full animated trailer, which I encourage you all to go watch. Lots of machine gun firing animation and lots of trolls grunting sound effects.
My favorite part was the trolls grunting. It was very exciting.
Whoa!
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we got to see more of this faction than we have in the past. Some insights about their command starter, confirmation that the faction is going to be heavily leveraging the ambush rule and having mechanical effects that put a twist on it. Actually, there were physical cards that went out in the goodie bags with an army specific modification to the ambush rule. I actually didn't have physical space in my bag to bring mine back. Do you guys remember it roughly offhand?
Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
It was You're allowed to use your trapdoor to remove a unit or model from play with the ambush rule, and then they can come back into play, I think, the turn after,
Mhm.
within a certain distance, I think 3 inches, like usual, of that model, rather than the board edge. So it allows you to kind of like place it wherever you want, and they can't get. It's like super duck and cover for 1 turn.
Mhm. Right, yeah, yeah, because you just straight up so the trapdoor rule already exists, and it's on the Trapperkin and Grimkin.
Mhm. So
Um,
yeah, being able to have that gives us some extra flavor to the army.
yeah, you're not contesting, but you're not getting attacked either.
Right.
What?
They actually had tool rules though. They had another one that I think I only saw once, which was a Sentry Fire card.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
the return of Sentry Fire in some form. I forgot that
Yeah,
happened,
yeah, it
but
was
it's
also
coming
a
back.
Kithgard specific rule,
Mhm.
mhm.
so
That's
that's kind of
exciting.
neat.
And we got Jay Beatnik in here mentioning narrative saw 2 models from Kiftguard. The Journeyman has a push nuke and Redline and Ramhead, who is his character Warjack, by the way.
First ever
This
Trollkin
fury,
Warcaster.
yeah, this Hordes faction comes with a character Warjack, has a Juggernaut POW 19 axe, an Electroleap POW 19 sword, Rat 4 range 15 bombard, and D3 POW 12s. So just to put some spin on this, if you happen to stop by the narrative events, either playing in them or hovering over board territory and asking what that model do, um, somebody will hand you a tablet with the models on them, and you will see a Journeyman Warcaster with Redline and an Arm 20 something.
I think it was 20. And then an important note on that bombard: it's not just the bombard; it is the
It's
conquest's
not a
gun.
bombard, it's a
It
Conquest's main
it's got
guns.
critical devastation on its AOE 3, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
moving stuff around.
the axe also had crit freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Just like and then the Electroleap sword, um, and then volume fire on those machine gun shots, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, pretty
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah, a lot of bells and whistles.
Mm-hmm. Don't remember the cost of it offhand, but like,
No, I don't. I imagine it's somewhere around 2018 to 22, somewhere in there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in the right cost range.
Yeah.
you also you also saw popping up. I don't know if anyone had a tablet to spill, but you saw Gunbjorn in a tank firing a rocket launcher out of the top of the tank.
Regrettably, I
So
didn't see any rules for him, but it was a really cool
No,
model.
yeah. Yeah, but and we also, like, the three of us collectively spent a lot of time looking at the minis case and
Oh
just
man,
sort of marveling over the Kithgard selection.
Quarter Paint is the guy who did those. He's an incredible artist, so anyone who can should look at his stuff. He does a bunch of stuff for this game too, as well as like MCP.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, incredible paint jobs.
Yeah. Well, and also very exciting models too. What was
Yeah.
the Ironhead unit we all saw there?
Oh yeah,
Called Ironbacks or something, I think is the official name, but they're
Something
Ironheads
like
in the
that.
IK sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so trolls in power armor with punching spike fists and flamethrowers underslung to their oh, is it Josh Berman?
Is that
Okay.
who that is? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I never put the two and two together.
Me either. He just followed me on Instagram. It got me so excited. I feel like a
I'm a
real
big
painter.
boy now.
Exactly. I got Electric Eve and him, so like a bunch of the P3 painters are following
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So there was a bunch of models we never saw in there in the past. Obviously the stuff covered in the keynote, the Ironheads, the Ironhead Warlock.
who has like 30 guns on him.
Yeah. Pygmy medics, all this stuff.
Oh, the medics were my favorite models, I think, of the entire showcase. They've got a little guy running with his med bag behind him, just flowing in the wind. You got the other guy with a
Mhm.
giant syringe, and it's awesome. a lot of character for trolls as usual.
Yeah. All right. Shall we kick over to shall we Kithgard or like hold my beer? Man, I tell you what, Dragorium, I was actually like I'm so mad with the number of barnacles I've had to paint on my, the king has no fewer than 200 barnacles on him, and like partway through that model, I was just like, I'm done with this faction. Kithgard, by comparison, is going to be far less of a hassle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I really, really cannot stress how much I hate barnacles after painting my Brine Bloods.
They're literal speed bumps.
Yeah, the
I didn't think of it that way.
The Kithgard models had very intentional detail, not
Yeah.
overly detailed.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to if you watch the stream back, you can specifically hear Jay Beatnik cheering above the general enthusiasm of the crowd at several points. And the specific one was next 3D printed revisited legacy faction is Thornfall Alliance.
Yeah, I
Are
was
either of you
super
guys
stoked.
pig owners?
I briefly owned a pig army, but to me, they're just like sillier trolls. So I'm very excited about that. I've always appreciated, the sort of semi-whimsical nature of them, but in a different way than trolls have pygmies. They're just kind of big, goofy idiots, led by really smart people or person.
Yeah,
There
just
he is,
Carver.
war pigs.
Yeah,
Carver's cool though. Love his lore.
Yeah, Carver's got great lore, so I'm excited to see if Arcadius is still around. I picked up the Arcadius mini crate just in case while I was there, but I intend to at least give them a shot, and I look forward to their rework, especially since they really need one.
Well, I mean, they've needed a rework for a long time, so it's going to be exciting to see what this faction does. And like one of the things I mentioned in the past is one of the things Mark IV armies do that really sets them apart from legacy armies is sort of the design intentionality around dual attack. And, that it's hard to build a Mark IV army that isn't incidentally a combined ranged army or a combined arms army, wherein they have something offhand that's going to put some kind of pressure on you and let you engage in a little bit of a different way. This is basically baked into Thornfall Alliance since the very beginning. Like pig irons and some sort of melee beat stick are, like have always been there. So this seems like a faction that's really primed to play in the way that the new factions do.
Yeah, dual attack. I'm always surprised when a model in Mark IV doesn't have dual attack. Even units that are supposed to just have guns and then like incidental knives or whatever. But I've always enjoyed that role. So it's cool that we have so much of it. And they were sort of pioneers of that, right? With quick work and stuff like that in previous editions.
Jay Beatnik pointing out to us the Pharaoh eugenics program.
Yeah. Dr. Arkangela for the Pharaoh really putting it down.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope it's not him putting it down personally.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe that's the secret, right? The special sauce or whatever.
Oh, I don't want to say the words that immediately occur to me. Let's just hope he's not David Cameroning it.
Oh my God. I wasn't ready for a David Cameron reference on a War Machine podcast, but here I am.
Yeah, the other one, it's been previously announced Crucible Guard is coming. They're getting new models, new character unit, all spellcasters, all mixed model profiles. The update is coming tomorrow for them, right?
I'm
supposedly
hoping. Yeah. Mine are on the print bed as we speak, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Nice. Yeah, so new character jack, new unit, chemical warfare, which is an ambiguous rule.
Scary.
Yeah. Um, if it works how they said in the keynote and did not elaborate, we're all in for a lot of pain.
For decap
Supposedly,
fire.
yeah. You basically get decap fire, double damage rolls from your continuous effects.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll mean corrosion deals 2, and then fire just pow 12 decap on your maintenance phase for no reason. But we'll
Corrosion
see.
deals 2. No one continues to care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it only matters when it's that last point. I've killed and been killed by the last point of corrosion, but it's very rare.
As
Yeah.
as have I.
Yeah,
We heard about a Vipex taking 16 fire damage.
yeah,
Oh,
that's brutal.
Lordy.
That's what you get for having victim stacks, little guy.
All right. Well, let's speed through the last of the announcements. One of
Sure.
which had basically no detail until Adepticon. How many people do you know that used to play this game that said, "Yeah, maybe I'll buy a new army when the Menites come back"?
I can think of 2 immediately. Yeah, yeah.
Have
No,
you asked them how open their wallet is yet?
I. We're gonna find out. Absolutely. No, Menoth is one of those iconic things for War Machine. So since our player
Mhm.
base is obviously a lot of new players, but also returning players, globally, I think seeing a new protected army is going to get a lot of people excited.
Mhm.
And they confirmed yet again no dinosaurs. Thank the Lord.
Yes. Oh my God.
Praise the Creator.
Thank the gods of good taste.
Yeah. But we know nothing else about them. They get their shout out in the new core book because they're also released at the con. But we don't know any details about what that looks like, who's leading them, or even what chunk of the world they're in.
Mhm.
Because there's like this big protectorate diaspora right now in the lore.
Well, we did get a little bit of a sneak peek because one of the Kithgard casters is standing on a Menite wreck, and it only vaguely looks like a Reckoner chassis.
Right. And I've been a conspiracy theorist about this announcement for a while now, because if you go back into older sculpts throughout Mark IV, you'll find menifixes in a few strange places. Notably, if you go to your Invictus, there's a menifix in his chains. I don't know if the big warjack has a great love of the god of laws, but also you'll find sculpted into the bottle and not just painted on by the guy who painted the studio scheme, but sculpted indented into one of the bottles on Foulblood's pile of alcohol is a menifix. So it's very intentional. They've been trying to indicate that the Menites are in the south. So presumably we'll get Tristan Durant's group of Menites that were taken south.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, moving on to the Q&A and what was strongly hinted.
Yeah.
Oh, do we want to talk about the super heavies first?
That's below.
Those are on the mention below. I actually elided over those. I'm going to pull up the app here in a second, and we'll talk through their full profiles.
Sure.
A lot of people noticed that Matt Hart was wearing a Deathjack shirt at Adepticon, and then some people might have noticed that he was wearing a Satixis shirt at Lock and Load.
Yeah, during the Q&A, someone asked, "Hey, is there a new Crix army coming?" And then it was very sheepishly said, "No, we have no plans." And then he pulled down his shirt a little, no plans at all. And it was a shirt where he was wearing a Satixis Raider. So pretty good guess that next Crix army will be Black Fleet in some form.
Yeah, and he must have been hanging on to that one for a while, because that's a vintage ass shirt.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a classic, I'll say. And I'm excited about that. I'm a Crix guy, so can't wait to see the living pirate side of the army be represented.
Yeah. Any thoughts from you, David, before we move on to the super heavy dimension, the rare thing we have full rules for?
I don't think there's anything I need to add. No, I think we covered. It's very exciting stuff. Next year's going to be hard on the wallet.
You guys are definitely coming back for next year?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that and the armies.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can swing
yeah,
it.
for sure. I have no idea what I'm going to be playing next year, but I am intrigued by Kithgard. And like when I learned they were the United Creels version, I was like, ooh, I don't know. Now,
That
like
bad
having
taste
seen a
in the
lot,
mouth.
having seen a lot more of them, I'm like, okay, you
Oh,
might
yeah.
be getting an extra grand from me.
Yeah, just the models alone. It was a hard for me to not decide in that moment to pick up everything they released to FA.
Yeah.
So we'll see how I hold out.
you're that Saint John meme of like praying, Lord, give me chastity.
Please, God.
All right. Well, let's kick over to the super heavies because there's Deathjack, Behemoth, Thunderhead, and a new boy, Aztarak. Also, we may be seeing Avatar at some point.
Yeah.
But we'll start with Aztarak. So he's sort of the first kid on the block. I've seen a lot of people speaking mechanically unfavorable of him, partially because of his cost of 21 and partially because he seems to recommend himself to a bit of an odd play style. But David, why don't you take us through your initial thoughts on this model, what the rules are and what stands out to you?
Yeah, so just going through the rules, it seems like a model that is particularly good at killing infantry,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very expensive model to do so. That was my initial reaction to reading its card and seeing kind of what they had in mind for it. And it fits what they described in the keynote when they were talking about the model. It is a dragon that flies above you and shoots fire down and burns you to death, but it's not going to be doing that to like you're harder to hit targets like a heavy or a colossal or something.
Right. Yeah, because the sort of signature ability here, so the model has the standard suite of a bazillion icons. It's got fairly standard stats, good speed, good mat, good rat, good defense, good armor, nothing particularly exceptional. The big selling points are Bladed Gale and Flame Trail. So the model tramples faster, it can trample over anything, and it does trample damage rolls against against models regardless of their base size.
Notably, you still don't hit other 80s or colossals, but most of the
Right.
targets you're after anyway.
Right. So you're looking at, a 12-inch trample absent any other buffs. It does get +4 to the trample damage rolls. It is worth noting that there is a base size component to power attack damage rolls and collateral damage rolls. They start at 12 and they increase if you're bigger. So effectively, this guy is making POW 18s. He sets models on fire, which is kind of a meh ability, but he does increase fire damage rolls, prevents him from going out. Spring Blades natively, has Sprint natively, which he can trigger off of his tramples. And then, I guess when it comes to the role of killing infantry, I would say once we're looking at getting up to POW 18 on a trample, we're not just looking at like, if this was, a middling POW, like what are you going to do? Kill some storm blades? And we're getting into you are putting a reasonable sized damage roll even against medium based 3-man units.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where he's going to shine. Is he's going to be hitting things like Ulcor Axers, Criterions, things like that. That the heavier end of the infantry spectrum it really lacks that efficient answer unless you just put a heavy into them.
Well, Criterions are also a great example because we're looking at simultaneous damage rolls. So provided you haven't triggered prior, you're essentially going to get POW 18s on everybody before battle-driven procs.
Yeah, I'd hate to be a Thexus or Kythos player in Dark Ops against an Azdarak.
Yeah. And when it comes to him not making power attacks and actually getting to take his initials, he does have some hidden gems here, I think. Mm-hmm. So both his melee weapons are range 2, good POW without support. So we're looking at a 19 and a 17. Mind you, this is only backed up by a maximum of 3 focus. But he's packing a decent number of initials at decent power. I think the standout for like differentiating factor for this Jack, range 10 POW 16 gun. There's no AoE
7.
But yeah. No, yeah, so he can pin real damage on you from downrange. And also if you're close enough, it's POW 18.
Sure.
Yeah,
and
5 inches.
There's some threat extension from Redline. He's a great way to
whoever winds up with Redline, that is.
Yeah. For now, Kishtar with Redline,
yeah.
It's a pretty good gun with Fire Group or what have you.
And he has sprint, so if he shoots at something that he kills, he gets to run away.
Oh, it's melee only. Unfortunately, he does not have running gun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got to smack a dude with his feet, with his gore, or his tail strike to get to run away.
Yeah, but the chances are high that whatever you're putting him into, he's going to get to run away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and this Jack takes speed buffs like a champ.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because if you can move that 12-inch trample, 6-inch sprint to a 14-inch trample, and more importantly, an 8-inch sprint, you're looking at real value there.
Absolutely. And Spring Blades is obnoxious too. So like non-multi-wound infantry that somehow managed to not get annihilated by Blade Glide will be in the future annihilated by Spring Blades.
Okay, so he kind of sucks to fight. We have Jimmy Jams and Jay Beatnik coming into the chat to let us know Ramhead is not a character, the Troll Junior thing.
Oh, wow. I had just assumed they were a Super Junior pair. I didn't actually look at the cards. That's super cool.
One would hope, but apparently not.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just see double Ramhead a whole bunch in the right list.
That'll be cool.
All right. Well, let's kick over to the other one. And actually, just stalling on this real quickly. Yes, Dragorium, I did see that, but did not understand the context.
I'm just blind.
One thing I saw a lot of people mention was comparisons between Azdarak and the Wyvern, particularly when it comes to point cost. Now, we don't know where the Wyvern is going to land end of year, but a lot of people were somewhat disappointed with the cost versus output disparity between the two. I think Azdarak is offering something different enough that he'll need to be explored on tabletop before passing any judgment. But also something that the Steamforge crew was really insistent to mention is that these are rules for now, not necessarily rules for January.
Certainly. Anything could change after January. And they did, I guess we didn't, did we mention the specific date? They did announce the specific date for the January update.
January 21st, yes.
Yeah, so January 21st. It will not be quite the February update we received this year. But January update does have a specific date, which is exciting. Anyway, Sprint is
it's in January even.
Yeah, isn't that great? Sprint is a super flexible rule that can make or break a model. So once we see it played, I think we'll get a better idea if he's overcosted or not.
Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts on the Fiery Dragon Boy, David?
It looks very cool.
Absolutely. It's an insanely cool model.
Let's move on to the next insanely cool model, who is probably has the least permanent rules of any model that was spoiled there.
Yeah,
we have
absolutely.
Deathjack 2. Top level thoughts on this guy?
Very cool. Got very excited to see him back as a character because he was one of the things that drew me to Crix in the first place. Excited to see has a lot of that same Deathjack feel.
Mm-hmm. He still has advanced deploy.
Yeah, he's got advanced deploy. He's got the Skulls of Hate. He can cast spells. Like the broad points, they just nailed it.
Dragorium, imagine that. It's
Imagine
almost like
that.
it happened. There are some differences here between the Great November whoopsie and now.
There is
Yeah.
no war in Bossing Say Dragorium.
I will note advanced deploy on this model is funny because you have to leave little carve outs because his base is larger than 3 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going to be bumping in the back there.
Yeah.
He's poking out the back.
Yep. But yeah, we're looking at hyper aggressive Skulls of Hate differing from past iterations. Although honestly, I've looked at Unlimited so little. Like you could tell me Deathjack 1 has the same rule and I'd believe you. So he gets 1 soul token for each non-crippled arm system versus if you're familiar with Deathjack in years past, he just got a focus for each and it could exceed normal limits. So Deathjack was the 5 focus guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Soul Taker Collector, which is a pretty broad 10 inches enemy collection aura. So he can essentially soul snack you with Devour Soul, Necrothurgy, spend a soul to cast a spell without spending focus. This is no longer like past versions where he casts from the caster's spell list. He now casts from his own spell list.
He does both now.
Oh,
if you
wait
scroll
a
down,
minute.
you see, where is it? There's a Skulls of Hate. This model is a spellcaster, so it can cast spells from its spell list.
Hold on a minute. This model is a spellcaster. Okay, yeah, he gets his soul tokens. No, yeah, what I was saying is he's not casting the caster's spells. He's casting his own spells.
Oh, yes, he's casting his own. But yeah,
he
does get to spend focus to cast his spells, though, is my point.
He can also cast with focus. Yes, you are right. Necrothurgy is once per turn.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, he can cast these spells with focus. And then he can turn souls into focus.
Yeah, basically he's a 6 focus warjack if you just dump it all into
annihilation.
Into focus. So he's technically bigger and better.
I don't think so. If you read it, it says at the start of his activation.
Oh, at the start of his activation. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, we missed that when we were still in St. Louis.
Ah, dang it.
So I did not notice that the Necro Claws put up crit decapitation.
Yeah, like he needed it.
Yeah,
but sure, man, I'll take it.
Especially, I mean, 2 POW 20s is nice. He's what? Speed 6, range 2. So depending on buffs, it's decent.
Yeah.
You don't expect this guy to be leading the pack, even with advanced deployment. Like Deathjack has traditionally been a second wave model. And
Absolutely.
I expect Deathjack 2 for now to sort of follow the same kind of niche.
Yeah, he's going to get in there after you've killed the thing that could kill him.
Yep. Still rocking horns, and then spell list is Annihilation, Ghostwalk, Soul Shift. Goodbye, Spell Rack. Hello, Spell Rack.
Yeah, these are super powerful spells. Some cool defensive tech from Soul Shift. Ghostwalk is great. You might spend 20 points on this guy and not rack the spell until January.
Mm-hmm.
And then Annihilation is super cool.
Yeah. Well, and I expect of all the things that are likely to change, it's this spell list that's likely to change.
Mm-hmm.
Annihilation, like Ghostwalk, okay, great, always on. Annihilation is a hell of a spell, especially for Necrothurgy.
Yeah.
Because he can gain up to 3 souls off of the 1 soul spent to cast and then cash those in.
Right. You just spend 2 of the souls on whatever you want, and then the last one, Annihilation, refill.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect that I have a guess that we will not see these spells in the next edition. Once the spell lists are sort of decided, then they'll go back to the traditional you have your caster spell list stuff, but who knows? That's just my speculation.
I would not be surprised if he kept his own distinct spell list.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a way to correct for future balance problems too, right? So,
yeah, it's the easiest way to balance this guy.
Yeah.
All right, David, any thoughts from you?
I love his spell list. Yeah, the model's really good. I'm really excited to see it and play
Yeah.
against it.
Oh, you're gonna play against it a bunch, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Thursday.
Thursday.
You pay for the whole seat, so you should probably use the whole seat. Sorry.
Oh man. Well, last mention for super heavies, and then we'll get on to the con itself. I didn't intend for this to be as time intensive on news as we have been, but like
Oh yeah,
there's
forever.
just so much to talk about. Behemoth and Thunderhead, they're coming back too. We got to see them in person.
was awesome.
Any thoughts?
Awesome models. Awesome models. I'm not familiar with them from, back in the day, but they both look amazing. The painted models look so good, and I'm excited to see what they do.
Oh yeah, we can speculate a little, and they did give us a little hint about some things that were returning. But yeah,
Pulse
Flying
is back.
Thunderhead is so cool. Yeah, Storm Pulse. I wonder if that will still trigger the lightning generator guns to auto hit. We'll see.
Well, apparently he can pulse off of his servitors rather than himself too.
Oh man, that's going to be brutal. Single wound infantry has new and more interesting problems in 4.5, right?
Thunderhead was like, "You thought you were coming back? Get straight out of here!"
Yeah, no, armor 14. What is this? And then of course we got Behemoth too, which Behemoth was one of my first favorite models because I played Khador for most of Mark One. And it's very funny to me that he's on treads and no longer doing his weird ballerina dance.
Oh, I loved my ballerina Behemoth, even if I forcibly cut and re-glued his leg down so he didn't fall over constantly.
I gave him a tactical rock was my solution. I made him less top heavy, and then he actually had something to stand on. I still had to brass rod his entire groin. But yeah, anyway, he looks super cool. I'm super stoked to see their rules.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an adventure. Let us shift gears into. My brain keeps wanting it to call it to call it Warfare Weekend or even War Machine Weekend a lot of the time. This was the first lock and load in a long time. But this is a con I've been coming to for 11, 12 years. And this was your guys' first time here. Was this your guys' first time at a major War Machine con, like specifically traveling for War Machine?
This is my third lock and load, but this is the first time I ever participated in a major event. Normally I was sort of on the outskirts. David, he's brand new.
Yeah, my first time.
So first impressions, what did you guys think? Like from stepping into the hall to end of weekend, what was the immediate impact of the con environment?
After you, David.
It was really exciting to see all of the tables with painted terrain all set up. I think we ended up figuring it was a little over 150 people that showed up, but tons of fun, tons of great people. I've never been around at a convention with so many people that you can trust and are willing to let you borrow things, and just so friendly and helpful in every way you can think of.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's I mean, there's all that. I've been struggling for the word for this. I think it was Ezra Pounder, maybe T.S. Eliot, talked about the first love of poetry, like the young love of poetry, and then the second love of poetry, which is like the older, more mature love, and your relationship with the art form changes. I say this all by the way of prologue to saying War Machine is a more mature game than most. And not that I mean that there's TNA or violence, and not that I mean it's all old people. It's mostly old people, but it's not exactly that. The kind of person who's into War Machine seems to be the kind of person who's into a very refined, very carefully designed game that rewards experience, thoughtfulness, etc. They also tend to be the kind of people like everybody got into Magic the Gathering as a teenager. You know, it's that wild, reckless, abandoned love. And like the community has a different flavor as a result. War Machine is the flavor of the people who like remember the great times of whatever game got them in, and are seeking out an intentional environment that's like that second love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could say the vibes were immaculate, in more common parlance, I suppose.
Wait. David, is this your setting off your anti-vibes radar?
I've gotten over that one now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll egress in vibes. The vibes were immaculate.
They were. The first interaction I had with someone I didn't know by name was them offering me something unprompted that they overheard me needing. Another Josh at the event overheard me saying, my shit got all broken in transit, because it did. I was like, I got glue in my room. Let me go up and get it. So not only did he not have it on him, he had to go leave a moving group of people who were headed to dinner to hand me his glue so that I could fix my stuff. And I was taken aback. It was so awesome to see not only him, but everyone was that way the whole weekend.
Yeah, Portland Josh.
Super welcoming. Portland Josh,
Portland Josh. That was my roomie.
There you go. It's good people. I met all sorts of good people, and Portland Josh was just, was like the gold standard for my encountering of War Machine players. Even though we have this like super intense reputation as hardcore grinders, right? Everyone's still so welcoming and thoughtful.
Who was telling me the English term for what our community is often described as is full kit wankers?
Sounds like one of the SFG people said that. That's a good one. No, David hit it right on the head. Everyone was super cool. And we left our bags in the hall all weekend and no one touched them.
Yeah.
Like there's no risk of anyone taking anything.
Mm-hmm. Camaraderie.
Don't hurt
that's
yourself,
an
Shreds.
awkward portmanteau word.
Just camaraderie. Let's cut them. I think, and it works.
Yeah. The NM transform is like really hard to do for an Anglophone.
You got to really put that stop in there.
Yeah, you got to go full glottal.
Yeah, it's a different word. There's a break. Anyway.
Yeah, we were able to just walk up to about anybody and have a discussion with them about their army or their list or the game. High level players, people playing in the LCQ, people playing in the IG, and Lock and Load main event. Doesn't matter. Like everybody was there to just like be a part of the community.
Yeah.
Which is
and that was fully inclusive of people in SFG shirts.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Too.
Those
I played against some of them.
Oh yeah, you played Russ on day one, right?
Yeah. He's
actually
their, lead model designer. Very fun guy.
Oh yeah, you
cool,
got. Well, we had a team game against mostly SFG guys, and then you got a heads up casual game too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we played 2 SFG guys in the team tournament, and we all lost. Let's use that as a segue to get into what our respective schedules were. So David, you and I formed a last minute team, the Desert Dastardlies, with our friend Max from Texas, and we took on the team tournament. Tell us about your experience with that one. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Game 1 I played against Ryan Chiriboga. Yeah,
because nobody wanted to jump on that particular grenade. You volunteered.
Welcome to Lock and Load.
Yep.
This is Ryan.
Sacrificial lamb. First game there, plays him. That was an interesting experience. He's a
You
very
got
fun
Tyrus,
player.
right?
Yes, he played Tyrus. I played Ragemonger. It didn't go well for me, but he's a very considerate and very kind and very obviously very good player. So it was a very fun experience.
Mm-hmm. fun experience to get your head staved in.
I mean, this is the kind of game where that can
Yeah,
happen, right?
I'm
Yeah.
used to it.
I mean, I did the same kind of thing against Jamie. So I wound up playing Jamie Perkins, and then our teammate Max was stuck against Rich Loxham in the Storm Legion mirror when he's running 2 Courser gunline armies into electrical immune opponents.
Woof.
Yeah, it was a rough one for all of us. I mean, honestly, this will be part of my con highlights. I entered this with serious doubts about the playability of the Trichomerics matchup. This model has been an evolving and developing problem, and my perspective on it has oriented from like, oh, this is hard to like, oh no, this might actually be a problem. But I played it once each day. And one of the great things about cons, if you're going for competitive reasons, is like you will get to iterate on game concepts real fast. Like I saw the trike 3 times in a row, and it was always Shira's trike, and every game was very different from the last, and the iteration did not go to waste. I'm still 1 and 2, but
yeah, you get that rapid development because you're just forced into the time chamber of playing against people, and sometimes it lines up like that where you get to fight the same matchup a bunch, especially if it's as popular as Trike and Shirus.
Mm-hmm. So, David, we played one more round before going to dinner. Who did you? Because we wound up playing against a group of Wisconsin old heads, mostly returning players. What was the matchup you got there?
I got the mirror match, so I played Ragemonger into.
It was Ragemonger Shadow Tongue, right?
Yeah, I think it was Shadow Tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It was very close. Actually, it was a very good game. Pretty close. I had a really, really good start of the game, and I kind of just didn't have things go my way with dice when he rolled dice. So he was able to pick up a lot coming back with some really good lined up sprays on the Quartermaster and Black Penny.
Yeah.
Or Black Spot.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh.
He actually got Black Spot into you and just like,
yeah,
let's watch this tee off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it was a fun game though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to find enough tough checks in a row to stop the Quartermaster double spray Black Spot chain.
It's a lot of value.
What was your second matchup?
I wound up against Keith Christensen, he also of musing and amusing fame. So I was really excited to see that Madison, Wisconsin had geared back up. He ran Boden Lesnoy into me, and I think I dropped the wrong caster into him because I was scared of Galena. So I put down Boom Howler, and he got an absolute crap load of work done turn over turn under insight. I wound up basically out of resources and like going for a desperation assassination that didn't turn out. I have some Bodan experience, but not a lot, and not any seeing Bodan run that close to the edge every single turn. It was really amazing watching Insight be an every turn spell like that and like having essentially no retaliation to it.
Yeah. We have some Umbria in our meta, and we've been getting Bodan a lot lately. It's been an interesting experience learning how to play against him.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think after that round we decided like we're more hungry than we are War Machine, and we went to dinner. But
I definitely tried to reel you guys away.
Yeah.
We took a break.
We are grateful for that.
Good.
But yeah, what else did you get up to over the weekend?
I played some Iron Arena afterwards. We did 8-man 50-point scrambles. Josh and I
Mm.
did, and that
Mhm.
was fun. Played a couple good games with that. And then I got to watch the Lock and Load tournament,
Iron
which was
Gauntlet.
fun. Yeah,
Mhm.
Iron Gauntlet. It was a lot of fun to watch in person. I'm not a huge fan of watching War Machine streams or video. It just doesn't come across the same way. So it was fun, like watching your game when you were on the stream game, and some
Mm.
other matchups, and watching Max and Ryan and some other players that were around, seeing all the games going on and all the plays. Definitely feel like I learned a lot when you went for your crazy assassination on Horusk against
Yeah.
Riker.
Yeah.
Sad
Well,
I
that
missed it.
it was it was worse than it sounds. It was interesting going for the assassination run. It was for me personally more interesting of like what led up to it, and like the weekend definitely, especially the Iron Gauntlet run for me, was like a huge experience of like really being forced to viscerally confront my weaknesses as a player. Um, specifically that I'm lazy. Um, Riker was one of the games where that really showed up. Um, if
Yeah.
if you like this show, but you want to hear me swear worse than a sailor, go watch the Zero Camp channel for when they release those streams.
Yeah. I'll be checking out that game.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was one of the cool things too, of like just rolling with this posse too. Like, David, I feel like throughout the weekend you were like my emotional support teammate, because like you got like every time I turn around from a game, it's like, oh, he's right there. Like, oh my god, I need somebody to vent to about this game.
David's a good ear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a lot of War Machine off my chest.
That's good.
How about you, Josh? Tell me about your weekend itinerary.
My main goal coming in where it was twofold. I wanted to enter the P3 Grandmaster, which I did. And then I wanted to play in the Iron Gauntlet Last Chance Qualifier, which I also did briefly. I went 0-2 drop from that. Played against Necro player, played against Kythos round 1, and then I lost to Vocal round 2 in Winter Core. So that freed up my weekend. I got to go play a bunch of Iron Arena while I waited for my painting submission to be judged, and that was more or less the whole time. I got a bunch of stuff out of Iron Arena. David did mention we played some scrambles. I got to the finals of the inaugural Snickerdoodle Scramble Championship on Saturday morning, which I conceded to the very gracious Simon (parentheses Josh).
Oh yeah, because you guys had the Josh Hive Mind.
Yeah, he joined the Josh Hive Mind for the weekend as an honorary member from Ontario, Canada. But I conceded it to him because, again, hunger defeated my will to play War Machine.
Yeah.
I think I actually came and got you after that.
Yeah.
Or no, that was the day before, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway.
we were waiting for you that time.
Oh, okay. My bad. So I went 2-0 in that, and then I conceded the finals match, and then I got a couple other games in, picked up a mini crate and some tokens from Iron Arena desks, which is kind of cool. And then, yeah, the painting competition. Didn't top 3, but I got some very valuable advice from the judges that will hopefully put me in that top 3 next year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What were your entries, just offhand, for those watching?
You can check out both of them on my Instagram, JT Gardner Paints. I have Shadow Tongue that I did for David as a commission, and then a chum that I did for myself. The chum was sort of a last minute, like, maybe they'll like it. But the Shadow Tongue was a pretty big effort on my part to really push myself. But I got some really good feedback, like I said, to improve it. Even still, I think it was a really cool model. I think David and I worked together to come up with some really cool ideas for how he saw the army and how I could execute on that. It was a fun model to paint. Shadow Tongue's my favorite Warlock and Brine Blood, so I'm never turning that commission down.
He's a boss. He's
Yeah.
so awesome. Let me see. Man, I'm trying to think of because as a party, it's often a warfare weekend, war machine weekend, like rite of passage to run around offsite for like St. Louis barbecue and stuff like that. But this year we were pretty locked in.
Yeah, I didn't have the gumption to wander about. I was like, I've been playing so much War Machine, I just need to eat something now.
Yeah,
I don't want to call an Uber for it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's so easy. Like, it's really remarkable as a con, like how, you know, like sucked in you can get, and like how it just becomes your whole world, and like this world of pure imagination. Like,
yeah, it's the Vegas experience.
Yeah.
With Windows.
Yeah. You forget you haven't eaten for 16 hours. You're like, boy, I'm really hungry.
Yeah, knock off Chili's around the corner sounds great. We'll do that.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
How about your schedule? Obviously, we know you played in the major event and did teams. Did you do anything else fun?
So I did team tournament and I did the Iron Gauntlet finals. I'll save one of them, which I've already alluded to for my top con memory.
Sure.
And the personal acknowledgments, I'll just say up front, like, I've been going to this con for ages. I've been playing the playing the circuit for a long time. 8 chicken strips with a total stranger.
Yeah, I ate with some total strangers this weekend too. It was a good time.
Yeah. But yeah, like being on the circuit, and actually, like, I met people for the first time who are established players that, you know, I've never seen before, and it was a pleasure to make their acquaintance. And I got to see lots of old friends, which is a pure delight. Playing in the Iron Gauntlet against a lot of those old friends who I know are absolute hard asses is immensely intimidating and immensely strenuous. If fun on a cerebral level, it's
it's stressful.
Also a challenge. Yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful to see your old friends under those circumstances. So that was the main thing I was there for, also getting drunk and having a good time. But the format took a major change this year. Rather than being a 16 or 32 player single elimination bracket, it was now the 32 players who make it in between those who qualified in advance and made it through the last chance qualifier. Get seeded based on ranking or standing in the LCQ. And then those players get randomly sampled for 4 8-man pods. And top 4 out of each pod make it out to a top 16 single elimination bracket. So this format change is a big deal. It makes the invitational significantly longer than it used to be. And it also means you get to play more than one game if you don't go great in the first round.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, I think it's like 1 through 4 gets sampled randomly into each pod, and then, you know, 5 through 8, and on and on and on. One of the artifacts of this system was sometimes statistical outliers strike you, and pod B,
oh yeah,
like, the mega hard ass pod. Like, if you randomly sampled these pods, like, this was the one that pulled the baddest MFers in like a freak of statistical math.
Oh man. Yeah. I saw it go up and I was just terrified. It's like, who could possibly withstand the mental strain of this pod? Certainly not myself.
No, yeah. And like, you know, when you're one of those hard asses and you're like, oh my God, I have to climb bodily over at least one of my friends who I know
Never.
is an absolute metagame terrorist.
Never an easy one, right? Once you get to a certain point, it's all killers. But you got all the killers of the killers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was just real quick. I played Cam Parker, who was running Grimkin. That one was a pretty advantaged matchup for Boomhowler because he put down Dirkinder, the child with two houses, into me. And an infantry heavy list with arbitrarily high power loves devouring two colossals.
Yeah, he has an output problem against you, I imagine.
Exactly. And then I played against my dear friend Eric Eicherman, former WTC teammate, running another Sheerus Trichomerics game. And that was the one where I was starting to be like steadier on my feet. Like, okay, I got viciously abused by Jamie Perkins, but I think I can start to see an out. Like, we're playing wolves at our heels. Like, all right, we'll switch from Boomhowler to Shadow Tongue. I still don't know how to deal with the trike precisely, but the kill box is expanding. Your feat only lasts one turn, so you can't keep your caster safe forever. And that wound up being the case. But it was really interesting in that game against Ike. I observed a pattern that like my hindbrain noticed playing against Jamie, that my forebrain didn't. But then when Ike did it too, I'm like, pay attention to this. This is important. And it mattered a lot in my third game against Peyton. Round 3, I got Dan Riker. Now, at this point, I was 2-0, and we knew, like, mathematically the way 8-man tournament space is like, okay, everyone who was 2-1 is getting in. So the pressure was off a little bit. And boy, did I play like the pressure was off in that game. When I said I had to confront my weaknesses of being cognitively lazy, you can see me and Dan going through some opening maneuvers at the start of the game. Positionally, Shadow Tongue versus Horus, where I outrange him, but I have to be really careful because mistakes are costly to me. I go through the first two turns correctly and win the positioning war quite handily. And I don't give anything away, aside from rocket attacks. But like, I enter the mid game with an advantage, and I'm not very attentive to it. And like, for whatever reason, I'm just not turning on my prefrontal cortex. And you will watch me play one of the most unfocused mid games. And Dan's just like standing there like, well, I lost the positioning war, but like Cosmo's making all the wrong decisions. So I'll just whoop his ass.
You get nothing free from someone like Riker.
Yeah, which he does with aplomb, but I still make it in. Get abducted to dinner, and we have to play the first round of single elimination that night. I get matched against St. Louis's own Nate. Nate, good Lord, is it Magnan? I'm gonna feel so bad if I get his last name wrong. Nate Magnan. So Nate is also an old friend. It's Wintercore Boomhowler versus Savrin. We get a scenario that's pretty damn advantageous to me. And Nate baby. So personally, if you ask me to look at like the invitational, like the list of people who is there, and you said gun to your head, who do you think is going to win it? I would say Nate.
Oh, okay.
It was a matchup I was hoping to play, but it was a matchup I was hoping to play at the finals table.
Sure.
I take a pretty advantaged scenario and play with it. We have a really long back and forth, but eventually I'm able to drag Nate out on, losing contesting power first, and sort of just ride that to a win. Last round, Peyton Priest in first round of the day Sunday comes down Shadow Tongue Sheerus, and my brain has been subconsciously being primed the entire weekend for this matchup. And I'll use this segue into like con big top memory. I had so many great memories, but for me, like, there was the wonderful learning experience of just getting like iteration against, some of the world's strongest players, and really transforming my game into the Chimera matchup, specifically the Sheerus Trike matchup over the course of the weekend. It was like, back to back to back to back personal level ups. And the thing that, my hindbrain and then eventually my prefrontal cortex saw that both Jamie and Ike did was okay, Sheerus has the feat, which shuts down charges. She also has Hunter's Mark. It's very easy for her to apply. Arknode Beast can also cast it. She also has Witch Mark, etc. Her Colossal out-threats my Colossal. Because of its Purgation Head, her Colossal can kill my Colossal through feat. Doesn't matter what buffs I put on it. Doesn't matter if no buffs, because it can still kill it. And we're equally matched in other hard-hitting battle group elements, which makes things challenging. It essentially means I'm at a permanent deficit. But one thing I've observed, because there's so much heavy flank play, Lashers are great, Knights are great, hard to kill, all these things, but they can't be everywhere. And often for tactical reasons, you can't afford to stack all your Lashers on one side. So I double stack my Marauder crew against the Lashers with the confidence that between, even with Silence of Death, Recursion plus native Marauder crew stats will eventually outfight these things, and he'll need other support elements drawn in to fight it. And the thing I observed every time is the Vipex went over to the other flank to help support, which means the Vipex exits the theater where the battle groups are fighting. Suddenly it goes to my 3 battle group models versus his 3 battle group models, down to 2 versus 3. And that means, oh, great. Okay, so here's my bait model. I throw Enliven on it, so you have to spend real resources to get it done. Typically, a Shadow Bind off your caster. Okay, you go kill it. Now you send something in, and I kill that, and you kill that, and I kill that. And you're out of models in this theater, and I've just won the heavy exchange. Holy crap, I beat the Trike. Like, this subconscious realization came into actuality against Peyton. The thing that didn't was I had to Hex Blast his Trike 3 times and set up a Perdition and a number of other things. And I'm looking down at Shadow Tongue like, okay, but where do I put you so that you don't die? And I'm like, I guess the wall's safe enough. Move on. Go through this exchange. Yes, I won. And then here comes Shyrus, because Peyton has to go for it. Lands the 11 to Shadow Bind my caster. Rolls a kind of crappy poison damage. Rolls a second kind of crappy poison damage. And the dude with the sword and warping winds who always misses.
The Paragon.
He did not always miss. He rolled exactly enough to kill Shadow Tongue, and I failed my tough check.
Damn.
And laziness was still a theme in this game. Because like Peyton and I shook hands, congratulated, talked to other people, and then like I look over and pick up my clock and grab it and point to the 14 minutes I had on it and said, Brandon is going to be pissed with me about this when he finds out.
Yeah, you're supposed to spend that on thinking, I guess.
Right, exactly. No, yeah, because I had put Peyton in a do or die position, and even if I had just taken like 2 minutes, I probably could have found somewhere better to not lose the game than just losing the game. So, that was sort of Peyton was a great opponent. All my opponents were great opponents, but that was sort of the moment that, like, for me, as a heavily competitive player where like so many forces really came together in both a big level up moment and a, confront your weaknesses moment. Finished 6th overall. I think I had a good shot of taking Riker in the rematch, but lost it there, and it was a great time. I was super, super proud of it, super proud of my performance of the weekend.
Yeah, six is very good. And you will get them next year, I'm sure.
We'll
Hopefully
try.
hopefully in a less stacked pod instead in finals.
Oh my god.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like, oh, the invitational winner also came out of the pot of hard ass. Like we were joking amongst ourselves like Saturday night before round one, like, all right, it's pod B supremacy here, boys.
You just got to coast from out of that pod.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I've been like ranting about some games. When really, that's a very narrow peek into sort of the competitive and like serial lock and loader warfare weekender experience. As first timers, like what was your con big top memory? What blew your socks off this year?
I was most happy to find out that I have a long way to go in terms of skill expression in both in War Machine play itself and painting.
Mhm.
I had the opposite effect of what you might think, which was be, oh, I suck, I'm depressed. I saw the top of the mountain, and I think I can reach it. So O2ing against very gracious, skilled opponents in the LCQ, and then just narrowly missing third place in P3 Grandmasters. I feel like I have a long way to go in the next year for the next lock and load. I'm very excited to do all the things that comes with that. So that was my overall. I don't have like a specific memory, I guess, but what lock and load sort of meant to me was that I have a lot of work to do, and I'm excited to do it.
Right. But this is I think just in various contexts, like talking about media, talking about games, talking about all these different contexts. One conversation that I found myself drawn into again and again was god damn it, I should have looked up the word for this, but like the sort of that frontier of like effective expansion, like what's there that's articulable, that there's room to grow into, because if there's no articulation, what's next can be vague and fuzzy and undifferentiated. And it seems you had like multiple cross domain level ups in over the course of the weekend, both in terms of play and in terms of creative expression in the painting domain and technical mastery in the painting domain, where it's like, oh my god, my eyes are open, like I see what's next and I'm ready to go for it.
Yeah, it was a clarifying moment because like I vaguely know that I'm like a medium high skill level painter when I'm trying my best, but having specific feedback really sends me in a direction. And the same is for War Machine. I see all these great players doing really well against some of the best competition in the world, and I made some mistakes that made me realize that gap, and I have things to look at that can help me improve.
Yeah. How about for you, David? What was top con memories?
Definitely the after hours, going out and hanging out with everybody from all over the country and having some drinks and talking about the game and other things and just getting to know all of these great people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have plenty of people in my shout outs. I know that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, even for a group of guys who didn't wander far off the venue, like Hotel Bar, Trainwreck, Westport Social, it's actually hard for me to tell, David, like because you're kind of like stone faced, even when you've got some drinks in you. Like, I had no idea the entire weekend what your intoxication level was, but hearing you tell it back, it sounds like it got spicy at points.
It was like good, not bad. It was no time
good.
was I ever too far. I'll just say.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, very very straight face. It lets him hide his power level a little.
Yeah, I have a very good understanding of my limits.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I wish I had that. I overdid it just a teeny bit.
Yeah. I gotta say, like Sunday night after the like wrap up show and everything, like toward the end, I was pretty drunk. Like I went to bed just before, like, this is it, Mr. Frodo. if I take one more drink, I'll be the least functional I've been all weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you don't need alcohol to have fun, and you don't need fun to have alcohol. Warfare weekend is a great time for both.
Yeah, I had a great time having a couple drinks with people who know what I'm talking about when I'm doing the aliens guy's hands with War Machine stuff. It was nice to be among kindred spirits.
Yeah,
with spirits.
Kindred spirits with spirits. Yeah. Now we need to find a drink called Kindred Spirits.
That's got to be a thing. There's some distillery somewhere making kindred spirits.
Yeah, that's got to be the 2026.
Notably, I tried Malort. For those who have not had Malort before, I tried Malort for the first time. The Chicago signature prank drink. And I guess he was my second round opponent. Gosh, I don't remember his name. He played Winter Corps. He whooped my ass, and then later in that night, he's like, "Hey, want to try some Malort?" And I'm a novelty-seeking creature, so obviously I did, and it wasn't that bad. He said it was the good stuff, like the high-quality brand or whatever, but it was tolerable.
Yeah. Oh, I can believe that one can have good experiences drinking Malort, but I don't want to chance it.
Sorry, man. If you and me are next to a bottle of Malort, you're having Malort.
Wow.
It's just I'll wrestle you to the ground if I have to. We just let it happen.
Oh, Lordy.
You're joining the club.
All right. Well, speaking of, so let's move on to personal shout outs. And all this is by way, like, everyone will have to caveat, like, every major con, like Lock and Load / Warfare, like, you meet so many exceptional, like, fun people, and you share genuinely special moments. And like, anytime you move to shout outs, you're always at risk of forgetting a name or forgetting like a top moment. But these are sort of, I mean, I guess we've had we've confined these down to a couple personally. So, everyone we ran into, like, special, unique place in our heart. But
absolutely,
yeah, let's go into personal shout outs.
You first, David?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Max and the Dallas Fort Worth crew, they were all amazing. Max lent Josh his tape measure when Josh's tape measure exploded. They had not talked before that moment.
Yeah, I didn't know his name until several minutes after that offering.
Yeah, just great people. Awesomely painted armies. Great players, fun to play with and against. Max was on our team for the teams event. Really enjoyed every moment with them at the con.
Well, yeah, and he was a de facto fourth member to the crew too.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He was the ad hoc member of the Desert Dastardlies, as we all were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And we will definitely be looking forward to doing some tournaments over in the Fort Worth area next year.
That was one of the coolest things for me to see, by the way, is like, I was delighted to introduce you guys to Max because I had a great time with him at LVO. And like, hey, here are my other friends. Meet my friend. And it was really cool to see, like, in the fusion of the groups, there was like this sort of like, man, we've all had such a good time together. And like, you guys worked it out between you. Like, let's create some sort of Pan-American Southwest metagame.
We should. Like minds and all that. I think if we put our heads together, we can make some tournaments happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that whole crew, Ryan Chiraboga, again, awesome opponent, extremely nice and friendly guy. We had, I think, dinner the first night, right, on Thursday when we got there, before he had to take off. So that was really cool to talk to him and play him later in the week. Russ from SFG, extremely nice. The whole SFG crew, but playing against him was a lot of fun too. Seeing all of his cool painted models was great. Cray, we met him at the hotel bar that one day. and he says that he recognized Josh and I, and we don't know from where, but very, very nice guy.
I got more of that this weekend too. Some
Yeah.
former Tucson guys like, I recognize you.
Yeah,
Okay.
good player too.
Yeah.
Your Portland crew, Cosmo,
Oh,
all
yeah.
really nice guys. That was a lot of fun. Fun to hang out with. The other Josh, just all of them. They were all
Chase.
really nice. Yeah, Chase.
Mhm.
Fun drinking, playing, everything. Simon from I think it was Toronto or Ontario. Right? Yeah, really cool guy too. Just tons of fun. Everybody else there that we played with and got to talk to was also great. Just a great time.
Yeah. That's one of the great things about this con in particular is like you make friends and you meet people you're going to look forward to hanging out with next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it just keeps growing and growing too. The longer you're going back, like the more it's like, oh my God, I know everyone here. And like, I wish I had a million days here.
Absolutely. No, it was a blast the whole way down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about for you? Top personal shout outs, Josh.
Well, David actually covered a lot of them. Simon parentheses Josh from Ontario was a riot. He was my opponent in the Snickerdoodle challenge championship rather.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I hung out with Max a lot. But specifically, Jason Tice judged my painting entry and gave me a ton of good advice. And I was really happy to meet him because he's a figure in the community too. So, and then it was great to meet all the SFG people for the brief time I did. They're true believers. They're really making a great game because they want to. So yeah, that was awesome. And of course, great hooking up with you there, Alex. You did a lot of hanging out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I felt really fortunate that like three of my favorite crews, all landed at about the same time, and we just got to have that, confluence of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That leaves you.
Yeah, I guess for me, classic caveat of too many to mention. Obviously you guys for being my posse the whole weekend. But specific shout outs to Max for being our perennial partner in crime. Like so much fun. Jay Beatnik, you are actually on the outline as one of my personal shout outs.
Yeah, I should have said that as well. You did a great job running things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were running Iron Arena. You were making matchmaking people for like you're playing games, you're playing scrambles, you were championing the narrative event. It's been for you and me, it's been like years, at least on my end, since we got to sit down and spend time together. And usually Warfare Weekend is our meeting place, so it was really great for me to like actually get to put in some FaceTime after a long time away, and I had a super fun time. I'm super grateful for you guys abducting me for meals when I forgot to eat for 16 hours. I'm also super grateful for Nate and his crew abducting me for meals before round one of the IG, because I had no idea where I was going to get food. They just picked me up, and then I repaid Nate by playing in the game and winning. Yeah, it was a hell of a weekend. There's so many people, but those are the ones that were like, really resonated for me.
For sure.
I guess last mentions, I think, and David, you've sort of hinted at this direction. I just want to give a special shout out to everybody who was involved in the con organization and putting the whole show on. I actually added somebody to the list. Probably missed some thank yous, but I never caught her name. Baked Goods Cookie Lady.
Oh,
thank you for being there. Thank you for keeping our blood sugar out of the gutter.
That was a very good cheesecake brownie I had.
Yeah. Yeah, for those who weren't there, there was for the first time that I've seen a woman who does like home kitchen baked goods business pitched up shop right opposite the registration desk, and she was hawking delicious baked goods all weekend and was like a lifesaver in those like, I forgot to eat, maybe I should stay alive a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was great, very amicable, nice to talk to, and then obviously great food.
Yeah, but top recommendation, or no recommendation, shout outs. Everyone who made the con possible. So this would be the Warfare Weekend organizers, but also I really want to get special shout out to the Steamforge game crew. So this would be Matt, Loxham, Jamie, Sherwin, Russ. Everybody was there.
China, she did great on the
China,
video stuff.
Yeah. Everybody, Travis, yeah. Everybody did a great job. Like, everybody was so accessible and so really into the community that they're there, like developing the game for and selling products for and stuff like that. Like the interest and enthusiasm, like you could tell they were as hype as we were.
Right. And they do all of it too. Like, it's not just being company faces. They wrap their pallets, they break down their booths, like they do everything, and they're just so into it, and it's awesome.
Yeah. They like whole soup to nuts, and you could tell like various points, like they were exhausted and still managing to be there and be excited and be so about this thing we all share in common. Also special shout out to Rich Loxham for putting on his first qualifier for the next year and then winning it himself.
If it were anyone else, I might go, no, but it's him. He could win it for sure.
It was a close game against my Portland buddy Jake Cooper, former WTC teammate. I am going to start a whisper campaign to bullying Rich Loxham to play in next year's Iron Gauntlet. But speaking of playing in Iron Gauntlet, big shout out to Travis. As far as like timing, judgment calls, setting expectations, keeping everything moving. This is one of the best big cons I've seen in a long time. Travis, I know you put your heart and soul into this thing and it really came off. So huge congrats too.
Yeah. Guy seems genetically built for running events at cons. He's got that booming voice, man. He's just set up for it. I will pay attention whatever he's saying.
Yeah. And then one last one. Big shout out to Tyson as well. So he of Terraniacs and judging the painting competition and all that. Tyson, I know, did a ton of work behind the scenes, provided multiple new tables for the narrative event this year that were unseen elsewhere.
Yeah, they were amazing. You should find pictures if you haven't seen them yet.
And like, if you were watching people break down that hall, you saw how many terrain pieces were like getting stacked and stacked and stacked and put into tote boxes. Almost all tote boxes were being put in a van that was being driven back to San Luis Obispo because Tyson put so much stuff together for this weekend.
Absolutely. No, he did a great job.
Yeah, that the Hive one for the scenario, the narrative event, so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The lights in the bottom and everything, it was really incredible.
Yeah. So that's, I just wanted to give, a special shout out to the crew and really acknowledge them for, because there's a ton most people didn't see that they put on. Like, if you arrived early on Thursday and poked your head in the con hall, the AC wasn't even on, and you saw all those guys in there, like, just working their tails off, sweating like hogs. So, super grateful to them for, everything involved in making the show happen. Any final thoughts for you guys? Parting meditations or words of wisdom? Looking back on your first lock and load / warfare weekend.
No, just I highly recommend it for anyone who wants to check out a War Machine related event. Extremely professional, but also extremely approachable. Tons of great people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope for a busy War Machine year traveling next year.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to make that Pan Southwest alliance happen. I'm super excited for the coming competitive year. If you guys aren't looking already, earlier in the year is Rocky Mountain Rumble. Post closing, I spent a good amount of time with the Zero Camp guys. Flights are unbelievably cheap from the Arizona area, so we might have to look at making that a group expedition.
For sure.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Anyways, Keith, take us away. That's it for tonight.